What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Third Gen Junkies. Chris, you know who it is. Same guy you always see on the channel, you know. So, figured I'd shoot another video on Ruby. Just like I just did the one on the spark plug wires and the heat boots, so they don't melt on the headers. So go over here real quick and look at the list of what needs to be done yet. Cross some things off since we did some stuff there. Okay, so let's see, vacuum routings, gotta do that yet. Steering column with keys, change the belts, add transfer fluids, cut to fit plugs and wires. Cross that guy off. That's done. This marker sucks. I guess that's what happens when you leave it outside in the cold. And what I did was I thought about some other stuff, and you know, some of this stuff here, like with the key, you know, the square says for later, like the rims and the tires, and change the belts. Some of this stuff, like I said, I gotta do later, like here in a little bit. Probably once I get through shooting this video, I might actually go upstairs and get a steering column, get the tool out, and swap out the tumbler so I have a steering column ready to go in this car, so I can use the keys instead of, you know, using the 6-inch extension to turn the power on, you know, and get pulled over. The cops are gonna look at me like I'm crazy and it's stolen. So adding trans fluid is easy. Install and figure out the vacuum and the TCI trans lockup kit. That one, I found out that I can run this car without having this on it. It will not burn up the overdrive gear. It'll just shift like a Turbo 350, 3 gears, until I figure that out. Electric cutout will come. Probably I'll have to order that. Gotta get over there and measure it and make sure it's the same as the one that I screenshotted. And I'll order that Friday. Rims and tires, like I said, later. Check all the fluids. I do believe I checked all the fluids except for the transmission fluid, which I have to put it flat on the floor, get it running good enough and idle up enough that I can let it warm up. Once it does warm up, then I can actually check that, and that'll be good. Check out the brakes, make sure all that's, you know, good. Heater core, that will definitely come later on. So as of right now, we're going to do this one. Even though, like I said, this is one that says for later, we're going to change the belts out. So before O'Reilly's closed, I called up my boy Gio at O'Reilly's and told him what I needed. So I told him what I needed, and I got the old belts here, and I wrote on the one alternator. Oops, I don't want that falling on the ground. That's the it's the dipstick, or the oil dipstick tube, and that's the dipstick there. I'll show you guys that in a minute, what I had going on there. But here's the old belts. These are I guess the brand is Gates. Yeah, Gates XL, and it had the actual part number on them. I didn't realize that they're the same as O'Reilly's, but I wrote on here, oh, where is it? ALT right here for alternator, and this one goes from the alternator to the extremely shitty, and looks like it's cut in half or cracked completely pulley right there. Look at that, that's lovely. Which eventually I'll do away with this fan and put an electric fan on it and do away with the V-belt, or try to find another V-belt pulley like this. But the one goes from the alternator to the water pump to the crank. The other one goes from the power steering pump to the water pump to the crank. So went ahead and got the 7445, which is the power steering one, and the 7450. Wait, hold on. The 7445 is the alternator, and the 7450 is for power steering. So I told him what year, make, and model the car was. He said they were like $20 a piece. He'd have to order them. They'd be in tomorrow. And I was like, God damn, man. And then I told him who I was, and he was like, oh, hey, what's up? So he started checking out some stuff. I told him everything, and I have a commercial account. So CB's Automotive. So I got both the V-belts for $12.38 for both. So this is going to go in the center console with all the other receipts, just like everything I do when it comes to buying parts for any car I work on, or you know, that I have going on. So that's what we're doing today. I did charge the battery for like 3-4 hours or whatever. It is good. I did start it up after I put the wires on. I didn't get that on the video because the battery was dead and wasn't charged. I did start it up. It was running, but it was popping and backfiring. So I do believe that somehow something's either not right. One of the wires is wrong, which would really suck, because if one of the wires is too short and not long enough, I already cut them to fit. But I don't think that's the problem. I think maybe the timing is off, so I'll have to get Ken over here with his timing light and get this thing actually dialed in the proper way by the mark on the harmonic balancer. And like I said, I'm going to be taking that spacer plate off so it drops down. Only problem I see is the fuel line is possibly going to be smashed into the intake, and I don't know how well that's going to work. Hopefully it does work, or maybe I can get another carb spacer that's not as tall, and maybe the linkage won't be bound and it's at such a weird angle. But I do know that they do make aftermarket brackets for these that actually sit. It's just like this. Or I might be able to take this off and weld up like an L bracket onto it, and it basically raises it up so it's this high and it's level, and it keeps everything level. The only thing is I'm not sure if this will clear the hood with an air cleaner. It probably won't. So actually dropping it down to stock height might actually be the best option for what I got going on, because like I said, this is not like a super duper, you know, $20,000 build here. So, but I had to take some pictures of some parts that I gotta have up for sale here soon. Also, guys, if you're interested in promo cars, I have a whole ton of promo cars. Drop a message on here, I'll get back to you. We can link up somehow on Facebook, maybe on Messengers. I'll have a lot easier, and I'll let you know prices, shipping, and all that. I have 82 to 88 and 89. I don't think they made a 90. But I have 13 different cars. 91s, 92s, some really rare colors, and years, and then some that are, you know, common or whatever. So, I mean, yeah, hit me up if you need, you know, you're interested in those. But yeah, as of right now, I plan on, I got my phone over here charging right now. That's why I don't have the battery charger plugged in. I still want to keep charging it, or put it on a slow trickle charge just to keep it charged because of the winter time. Blackmagic possibly might be coming out tomorrow for the save the date pictures for our wedding. That's going to be coming up soon, possibly, depending upon how long, what I have to do tomorrow, how long it takes. If it takes a decent amount of time, then we might not do the save the date pictures. It might be next week or something, as long as it's not raining. And then after that, Blackmagic's gonna be put away for the winter. Got to get the stable in the tank, make sure everything's good. Probably put some new cardboard down, but it looks like that cardboard is pretty good, so I probably won't put that down. Yeah, the only thing that kind of sucks is that everything that I need for my max build is over in the corner over there. My propane heater is over there, my other heater's over there, so I gotta like get all that stuff out, figure out, you know, where I'm gonna plug up the one heater, which will probably be right here in the middle, as long as it's not in my way, and maybe the torpedo heater on the other side. But I want to have the torpedo heater to where there's room, so I don't know, this is kind of close. Obviously the gas cans and the propane tank won't be there, so I don't want to catch anything on fire. So I'd probably put the propane heater on this side and maybe put the other one, because it's just a residence heat, it's, you know, put that on the other side and plug it in. And so turn the fans on that I have hanging, the yellow Stanleys, or the one right there, and then the other one up there, that'll get the air moving around so the heat just doesn't rise and it doesn't actually heat the garage. And granted, you know, it's not insulated like I've said in the past. You know, I need to get rolls of insulation, but with trying to get prep up the new shop area, I haven't had the time to actually get around to doing all that. So we're trying to get that ready so that we can actually start working out of that. We got another build in mind, but I'm not totally sure how that's going to work, because I don't know how I'm going to be able to build this car, build that car, get Blackmagic out of here or stored somewhere or something to where I have more room in here, because this is having Blackmagic home and knowing a peace of mind that it's here under audio and video surveillance 24/7 is a good thing. But sometimes you just, you know, you need space, you need to work. The other thing I was working on is this oil dipstick tube. I've seen people actually take part of a pop can, and where this slides down into the block, these things will be loose and they'll spin and they'll leak. And I've seen this guy take a strip of a pop can like this, and he rolled it into a circle. He took tin snips and he cut these little tabs that stuck out all the way around, and he stuck it in the hole of the block. And then when you shove this in, it takes up the slack. My problem with that is if it breaks off and goes down in there, you got aluminum down in there. Granted, the aluminum will probably get ate up by the crank and it won't really do much damage. But what I did was, this thing keeps leaking. I didn't have any O-rings that would fit it. If I do have O-rings, they're probably buried in that toolbox down there at the very bottom. I have all this shit piled on top of it. Drill bits and CDs, sawzalls, socket trays, wheel adapters for the rims that are going on Ruby, pulley puller, bearing kit, remover, some shit, I don't know. But I think I might have them down there. I didn't have them in my specialty drawer in here, but the one thing that I did have was I had, let's see if I can find one of the other ones that are in here. I did have one of these. It's like a cap, kind of like the cap that's on like right here, like this, and only a little bit smaller. So what I did was I cut the end off of it here, and it was tight as hell, but I slid it all the way down to here where it meets this little section. What I plan on doing is cutting it off right here at this edge, because it's going to be too thick to actually, you know, once it hits here, it's not going to go in any further. It probably will not seat down. I'm going to check it first before I cut it. If it does seat down, it does slide in, I'll put a little bit of oil on it. If it slides in and seals up nice and tight, great. If not, I'm just going to cut it right here at this edge, right here, all the way around, just so that when it sits all the way down in there, that little lip section of the rubber right here actually holds it to where when I rev it up or whatever, it's not blowing oil out past it. Because when I did do that start earlier, it did do that. It blew oil out, and I really don't need that. That's like the last thing I need right now. So I'm gonna grab my phone to use this flashlight on it because I don't feel like unclipping the big light to look down there to see how this thing's gonna fit. Got it down there. I really wonder what it looks like from the bottom. Let's see here. What that little gasket thing I made looks like. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to see it, but I'm gonna try to look. I can see kind of part of it. I don't know. Let's seat it down there, so whatever. I guess that'll have to work. If not, if I start it up and it leaks still, I'll snatch it back out and cut that little section off. I'm pretty sure it's not sitting all the way down the way it's supposed to on there. And actually, you know what, I'm not even gonna play with that. I'm gonna do what I should have did from get-go. I just don't like doing this a lot. Funny thing is, even with this, it's still kind of hard to see down in there. See what it looks like. Oh, there we go. Can't tell, but it looks pretty good. Yeah. It's a hell of a lot tighter than it was, so maybe that'll work. Sure hope so. Like I said, if not, worst case scenario, I'll just trim off that excess there and we'll make it work. And if that don't work, then I'll just say screw it. And I'll actually get an O-ring and shove that down in there and see what happens. But, alright, so let's get to these belts here. So the power steering one has to go on first because that's behind the other one. Alternator is the 7445. That goes on second. Okay, so this goes on first. And this is just so much fun. That's why I absolutely love V-belts. That's another thing about this. This is one thing that a lot of people fail to realize. And when you're in a shop and a lot of people want to say, use a pry bar and blah, 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 blah. Pry bars are flimsy as hell. Harbor Freight bullshit. Even Snap-on Matco, fucking garbage. Get you a good old cast iron tire iron. And you got to be real careful on where you place this. Me, I place it right here between the metal tab where I'm going to be tightening that down and the actual water pump, because that's cast iron. If you stick it back down in here, you're going to be against the aluminum housing, and you will punch a hole right through the side of your power steering fluid reservoir. So you need to be extremely careful on where you're going and what you're doing when you're doing this. So, like I said, how I do it, go like this, pull it tight to where it's nice and tight like so. Grab the 14 on the ratchet. This is the one that was holding it before, so I couldn't move it. Tighten that one real quick. Grab the 15. Oh shit, that's really loose. Oh, it's tightening. It just sure the hell didn't feel like it was. Oop, slipped off there. Actually, you know what? No, it is. It just slipped off. There's that one. It should be okay to take the tension off. Still kind of flimsy, but I still got to tighten that one. And I think that's like one of the main ones that really need to be tight. When I lock that one down, that's going to be the one that really holds everything together. So, get the 14 on here. Ratchet wrenches are awesome. I don't care what anybody says. As a mechanic, ratchet wrenches are amazing. Alright. It's tight. Not overly loose, not overly tight. It's good. I'm probably going to toss out them old wires. I might keep them around because, like I said, I'm a pack rat. And I don't care what anybody says. Even though these belts are cracked like that, it's got this braided like thread right here, and it has to break all the way through this. And yes, I mean, like, there's slices in it and whatever, but one thing that people fail to realize about belts is a lot of times you don't realize that if you throw a belt or you shred a belt, even these old ones like this, you having these old ones save your ass. So I don't care what anybody says ever, but in my experience and the time of me working on cars since I was 13, I'll tell you right now, these are what I keep in here, because I'll be damned if I'm stuck on the side of a road all because a belt flung off and I don't have even a backup piece of shit one that I can throw on just to get to where I can buy a new one. So, like I said, people can call me a pack rat and all that bullshit all they want. I really don't care, because of the fact that that's what saves your ass when it comes time to, you know, not be stranded somewhere and you need to get where you need to go. So this next one is actually pretty easy. It's not hard. It's another one you got to use a pry bar on the alternator. So there again, nice new belt around the fan. And that's that. Then you want to pull this guy down or wiggle it off. Check your belt tension. It's not perfectly straight. It's still cocked this way. It should be out a little bit more, like this should be this way, because it needs more here to push it off of the block to bring it out. But it's good enough for me. I know it won't throw the belt. Nice new belts. So put my pry bar back down here where it belongs, and then go ahead and put my 13 back, my wrench roll, my 14, and throw my extra 13 that I grabbed out of here back over here. And let's see, clean up. I guess this goes back in the house. Extra belt. Put this bad boy in here. The other one, like I said, it's always good to have backups. I don't care what anybody tells you. If they tell you anything different, they're fucking idiots. Grab the marker and change belts. At least I'm getting something done. Steering column with keys. That should be the next thing. It is 1 o'clock. I have to be at my buddy's. I gotta be at Ken's at 9 a.m. So I don't know if I want to tackle fucking with that damn steering column or not. And I also got to go upstairs and figure out which is the good column that I don't have a key for, so that I can slap it into the car. Swap everything over and slap it in the car. So I'm gonna end this video here. It needs to be edited and chopped up and all that good shit. Yeah, like I said, you need parts, hit me up, let me know. Like, subscribe, hit that share button. Share, please. I know I don't put out a lot of content all the time. A lot of it's boring. I do talk way too much. I know this, and you're probably saying the same damn thing. But yeah, I need some more subscribers, you know. Can't pay for all this myself. So without the help of everybody, you guys and everybody out there, I wouldn't be able to do what I do. And a lot of support from the in-laws and my wife. So until next time, keep it cool. Later.